battle with um, a bugbear arsonist and his two hellhound companions that were apparently trying to sabotage the loading flume of Otari's um, lumber business.
Which is this massive thing.
Which is a massive thing. It's kind of like it's the claim to fame of Otari ever since. I don't know how familiar you are with the history of the town, but it's basically been a ruin for a long time until a savvy entrepreneur came into town and she revitalized it by creating this giant's wheel that powers the lumbering business and the loading flume to get all the timber from the surrounding woods to the town, and that's its main that's the main driver of its economy is this lumber business. So it's a very dangerous thing to learn that there is apparently a party interested in disrupting this business. However, you haven't learned much. The bugbear tried to fool you into letting trying to or was goading you with information that he claims to possess about the location of that said party that's interested in disrupting the business here. But it turns out that he either was not willing to share that information, or maybe he didn't even have it in the first place. But he tried to run after giving you as little as a name, I believe. Maybe you remember that name from last time.
The Leadbuster lads?
The Letbuster lads.
I think it's still in the chat, yeah.
Nice. So that's pretty much all you have to go on. Because after you cut him loose, he tried to make a run for it and basically didn't get much further than John's reach, or the reach of John's hammer. And now he certainly can't tell you much more. But at least it looks like you've thwarted the immediate danger to the loading flume, and yeah, it's still in the middle of the night, so we're basically still here at the scene of the crime, or the crime that you prevented. So what's next?
Is there someone we should report or inform about the little developments? Isn't there like a justice something?
Well, I think Clorte would be the first person to reach, since he's the one who sent us here.
Although most immediate needs, I believe, we'll have to treat wounds on our heroes.
Yes. Let me do something like this for everyone.
Is that the emanation?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
What thing? Where?
That got lucky, yeah. Everybody heals 16 hit points.
Oh, that's great.
Well, I'm at full.
I am half.
Well,
Halfway there.
I guess then Melchis will just have to bandage the rest for them. I will treat wounds for 15.
While Melchis is doing that, does the bugbear carry any sort of equipment on him? Anything interesting?
He certainly has some equipment. Let me check what exactly it is that he's carrying. Well, he's carrying a long sword. He also had a javelin that he wasn't using.
All right, Gris, just
Hmm?
just clenching this leather belt and try not to scream too loud. It will be risky surgery.
Oof.
Wait, heal for 30?
Yes.
Wow.
Alright.
Critical success. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what risky surgery does. It
Yeah,
Right,
it always gives me you critical success if you succeed.
Oh, I see, but it's also a really nice roll. 3 8s and a 6, and just a 1 on the damage. Well, that's really good. All
I
right.
like risky
Now,
field surgery.
yeah. Now, John, come over here. Says Melchis, wiping his scalpel.
Did you disinfect that?
Yeah. Oh, don't worry.
I don't think we move. We can move since
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
still
we're
paused. but,
paused.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, while Malchus performs that surgery, so we have a longsword, a javelin, and a leather armor on the bugbear, but nothing beyond that.
Okay.
Is John taking that?
I think that's for John. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh no! I'm sorry.
The
You meant the
gear.
equipment. No.
Okay. Yeah, Keen will waste no time stripping the body down then for all it's worth.
All right.
That's leather armor, longsword, and javelin.
Yep, and it's all just the basic equipment, nothing fancy about it.
Yep.
Okay, so you patch yourselves up. Malchus performs a bit of risky surgery on his companions, but to great success. While Keen grabs as much loot as she can carry, essentially.
Yeah. And I believe Gris also now removes the wounded condition that she has, if that is the wounded condition.
Is that from treat wounds?
I think it's actually the default feature of treating wounds.
I thought it's if you critically succeed, you can remove a wound.
Oh yeah, just success removes. Oh, yeah, and it completely removes, not just lowers. Oh. Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Just success. That's nice. Actually gives you a good reason to use non-magical healing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it more likely makes it almost a necessity to have a non-magical healer.
Yeah, honestly.
Out of combat, right? Because it does take several minutes.
Yeah. It takes 10 minutes, so.
Well, unless you have battle medicine.
Well, ought we to make our way back? We can bring the body as evidence.
Indeed.
Let's go.
All right. You head back, I assume, to the Giant's Wheel and Clorta's office. And at this time of night, I mean, the Giant's Wheel never really stops. There's even a night shift working, even though it's a lot fewer workers. And Clorta lives nearby, so it's easy enough to get somebody to wake him. And he comes out. He looks like this, by the way. I don't think I've shown him to you yet. But he's not wearing this almost regal-looking cloak that you see in these pictures. Instead, he's like bare-chested, and he's just all brawn and muscle. He's covered in scars, like minor cuts and
I don't think we actually see the character.
What's that?
Yeah, no, it appeared. The picture didn't appear for me for a moment.
Okay. Like I said, he's covered in old scars and poorly healed wounds from long ago, And on his back, he has a huge tattoo that says "The Lumberjacker," that you hadn't noticed before when he was wearing, basically just wearing a shirt before, but you don't see him in a lot of clothes most of the time. And despite the fact that he probably was just roused from sleep, he looks at you and grins widely, and he says, "Ah, I see you've returned, so I guess that's good news, huh? Did you find out what happened to the flume?"
Bugbears happened, I think. Still
Some
gripping.
wicked pets too.
Oh, card.
Bugbears with hellhounds.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Bugbear, what are you talking about? I thought it was just a couple of kids from town having a little bit too much fun with a tinderbox.
Well, at this point, I think we will. Yeah, we will narratively describe him how what sort of sting operation we had, and also probably will mention that he mentioned the what. I already forgot. Right, the Leadbuster lads as potential organizers of this sabotage.
Okay, so he scratches his beard and he says, "Flatbuster lads? That doesn't ring a bell at all. I don't, there's nobody in the business of that name. I doubt that it's just competition trying to run me out of business here. Strange. But I guess
They are
it's all
called the Leadbusters. They obviously stand for busting something.
Maybe. Well, anyway, I'm glad you took care of it. There's no point in worrying something we can't change at this point. I guess I promised you a reward, didn't I?" he says, and he takes you to his office and takes one of the two hatchets off the wall and looks at it. You see he's getting a little bit of nostalgic. There's a glint in his eye as if he's remembering past battles. And he hands it to you. I don't know which one of you is going to accept it.
What kind of, is it a hatchet? One-handed?
It's a one-handed hatchet.
Well, if nobody wants it, Gris would be like, yes, shiny.
Right, so he hands it to Gris, throws it up to flip it around so that he can hand it to Gris with the handle first, and he says, "There you go, lass. I hope it'll serve you as well as it did me. I'll spur the days."
Just admire, the worn wood and the sharply edged blade. It's like, yes, sir, I certainly will.
And there are quite a few runes on it, so I think you've already previously noticed that it was magic. So it is a +1 striking hatchet.
Yeah. That thing hits hard.
Yeah, my eyes light up.
Alright, yeah.
One striking hatchet.
Yeah, +1 striking hatchet. So Clorta seems at ease. He generally doesn't seem like the type that gets worried about things too quickly. So he seems to be satisfied with the conclusion of this, despite the fact that you don't really have a clue on to follow up on that Leadbuster lads. But maybe that's just not something that needs to be dealt with right away.
What ought we do with the body?
Did you bring it?
Keen uses one hand and kind of half lifts up the bugbear corpse that she's still dragging behind her.
Oh, sorry, didn't see that there. Well, I guess we'll talk to Vandy if she wants to bury it somewhere, or if we're gonna get rid of it out of town. And he's talking about Vandy.
I know a place where we can dump it. It's all right.
Okay. And again, he seems perfectly satisfied with that answer. Yeah. So what are you gonna do with that body?
Well, I guess we'll find a place and dump it.
Yeah, where's the place to dump it?
Well, we could take it to the Otari guard, Lardus Longsaddle. He might be interested in knowing that there's ruffians going about his turf. Also,
Yeah,
his name is Lardus.
Lardis. Yes. You could take the body to Lardis, who you would know as the captain of the guard. Might be interested to hear about bugbear bandits out there. But since he's dead, it might make more sense to take him to the Dawnflower Library and Vandy Banderdash,
Yeah, that makes sense.
who's the custodian of the graveyard. But I mean, your choice if you want to parade him through town.
No need for that. There's no striking
So I
at
guess
him.
we take him to.
Here, I'll just.
Yeah, we can take him to the cemetery.
Okay. So, would either any of your characters have already sought out the Dawnflower Library at some point in the past? Any reason that Vandy would already know? Any of you?
Nah, books are for nerds.
Books are for the next character.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Melchis may have visited it, but he never really made a habit of this, so.
Okay. Well, if you get there, you'll find the head priestess already at work preparing the morning prayers, because of course, as a there we go. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to show you her actual face. That is one more click. Here you go. And as a follower of Sarenrae, of course, the dawn is the time for her to, or it's almost the most important time for worship. So she's busy lighting all the candles, setting up the altar and everything. As you step into the halls of this large library / temple to Sarenrae. There are many shrines to other deities as well, but the place does not make it hard to realize like these are hallowed grounds of Sarenrae. There's depictions of the Dawnflower everywhere. And as you step in, your footsteps echoing through this spacious room. She turns around from the altar and she says, "Oh, hello there. Well, isn't that nice? I finally get a chance to meet our newest heroes in the town. I've heard so much about you. So nice of you to finally introduce yourselves." And she is a halfling lady. Has a, just like many halflings, she immediately seems very approachable, very friendly. She also seems to be very chatty, as you can tell at once. And yeah, so she seems genuinely happy to see you.
Pleased to meet you. I'm sorry, but I think we come on business this time, and not just for a friendly visit.
Oh, well, it's mildly disappointing, but of course totally understandable. I'm sure that a hero's business never ends. So, when will it be? Do you require the temple's services?
Well, we actually have corpse disposal last rites. I'll look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a bin or something somewhere?
A bin?
Yeah, maybe a barrel that we could fit with rocks and something.
A barrel? What kind of corpse are we talking about here?
We show her the corpse.
Oh, she says, a bugbear and an ugly one. Okay, why don't you, and she looks around, why don't we take him into in embalming chamber. I have a little space set up where we prepare bodies for interment. Maybe we can keep him there for now. And she walks you over to like a separate part of the library that is noticeably cooler than the rest. And it has what kind of almost looks like an altar, like a big stone slab in the middle of the room. And she tells you to just put him on there. I'm sure you'll understand that I'm going to have to notify Largest Long Saddle, our guards captain, just to make sure that, this is all on the books and everything. I'm sure you've had your reasons, but he might want to talk to you about how this happened.
Well, we should mention that there were hellhounds involved.
Hellhound?
Yes, and
Hellhounds? Don't think I've heard that story before.
thought you might be interested in knowing that bit of information. No idea what they could be doing here with this unpleasant company.
It's definitely intriguing, but he doesn't look like like a summoner type. Wonder how he got his hands on hellhounds.
These aren't the only ones we've come across outside of Otari. Down the Shmoon farm, we found another hellhound that had taken wolves under its protection as part of its pack.
They seem to be part of a group called the Leadbuster Lads. Have you heard of any such group?
Your lads. That's certainly an interesting name, but it does not ring a bell. However, I do, and then she wanders off among the various shelves of the library and mumbling to herself and being like, outsiders, so... Oh, here we go. And then she climbs up a little step stool and she takes out a book, a fairly dusty tome bound in black leather with like red letter writing on it. And she opens it up and she says, wipes off a little bit of dust. Just, I'm sorry, nobody ever really uses this kind of literature, but she quickly peruses. She says, yes. So here it says that indeed hellhounds do like to bond with other canines and quickly assert their dominance, even with material or plain natives like dogs and wolves and other. And she looks up at Keen and says, canines. And turns the book around and hands it. So that part does not seem to be too unusual, but certainly strange to have an hellhound, had several hellhound sightings so close to town. Weird. Anyway, I need to prepare the morning service, and then I'm gonna have to send for the captain. I'm sure you all must be exhausted from a battle with this brutish-looking bugbear. So, I thank you for now. I'm sure the captain would appreciate if you would not wander too far from town for a little while.
Sure.
Yes.
Does she offer healing?
The temple does offer healing, but they, as usual, they have their list of recommended donations.
And how much is the recommended donation? Because I would very much like to keep my organs inside my body.
I mean,
That would be 3 gold pieces for a first level.
Yeah, wasn't
Aren't you full?
Yeah, I mean, didn't the critical success on risky surgery?
I thought that was just for John. Okay.
No, I did it twice.
Now you got 30 and John got 22.
Cool. In that case, I am fine. Let's go drinking.
All right. Yeah. So, unless you want to do anything else at the temple / library, then we can call it a night.
Yep.
I suppose so.
All right.
Although, although I would prefer to have my name left away from the constable. But I guess sometimes some things are inevitable.
So you return to your camp, the fishery slightly outside of town.
Yeah. It is also
And,
a place where we could have dumped the corpse.
What's that?
Yeah, it also was the place where we could have dumped the corpse. Like nobody there. There are boars also who are very hungry.
Yeah, but no reason to try to hide at this. But anyway, so you rest for the night, and the next morning dawns fairly soon-ish. I would think that you're probably all going to sleep in a little bit until closer to noon, until you've fully rested for 8+ hours. Is that about right?
It's fantasy, so yeah, 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Let me swap those spells.
Okay. Yeah, and then what is on your agenda?
I think we had a request for some mushroom picking.
Yes, that's right.
All right. So what we're gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
And what better way to avoid the authorities than some harmless mushroom picking, right?
Indeed, I mean,
I don't know, last time I went mushroom picking in real life, I ruptured my thumb and had to wear a cast for 8 weeks.
Ooh.
that was risky.
It's an extreme sport.
Well, after seeing your fighting style, I can't say I'm super surprised. Charging into the mushrooms. Anyway, so we are... Yes. So... Megaloy had described the spot where she expects a bunch of coppercap mushrooms to grow, and she's very grateful that you had finally agreed to go, because she had apparently previously been asked around town if anybody's heading that direction, but for some reason nobody was really willing to do it. Anyway, it's a little out of the way. It's about an hour northwest of town, but it's not like you're gonna be away for an extended period of time, so you feel confident to go. And it is known by the name Slab Hill. And Slab Hill is a rounded mound with several large stone slabs resting along its sides. If you've been in town for a while, then you know that people use it as sort of a reference point. Like they will say something like, "Oh yeah, it's like this many hours north of Slab Hill," or just it has that name, but no one really knows what these slabs mean, or like why there are these stone slabs leaning against it, like if somebody put that there, or if it's just a weird looking but natural rock formation of some kind. People have just kind of accepted it as part of the scenery. As you get there, you can quickly find the location itself, and also, once you arrive there, you quickly realize that most of the mushrooms have recently been picked. They are growing in large patches, but you can clearly see that most of them have been, I think you cut them off if I'm not mistaken. So we would see like a little bit of the stumps still sticking out.
That's why you're supposed to go on a mushroom hunt early in the morning.
Yes, but, and that's even weirder, one of the eponymous slabs on Slab Hill nearby looks like it has been shoved aside, revealing an opening into the hill. And near this opening you can find a basket of copper cap mushrooms, looking like they've just been plainly discarded in haste. So you have your reward right there, ready for the taking. That's all you need to do. Take the basket, go home.
Wait.
What do you mean, wait? I mean, the rascal picked our mushrooms, and now we're picking them back.
I don't know. There's no such thing as a free meal. Something must be going on. And
I mean, picking mushrooms is the definition of a free meal.
yes, but no, they don't grow on baskets and leave themselves neatly tied. This obviously belongs to someone.
Do we see anything looking? If we look through the.
Are there any signs of distress? Like whoever
You mean-
left them, maybe?
If there's like any signs of like a fight or anything in the well, you can give me your perception. I think maybe survival would also be appropriate.
Well, we can do that.
That will also take us to the scene. 15, okay. 19. Mm, 15, 19, 15. You don't see any signs of a struggle or fight or anything like that, really. You do see a couple of tracks looking like footsteps, like human-sized, humanoid, just regular feet in shoes. And it looks like the way that they like were moving between the opening here, it looks like somebody must have tried to pry that slab off the side of the wall, and then eventually went inside.
I mean, Melchis has no moral compass, he will just take the mushrooms.
Yeah. All you came here for.
John will call anyone around.
I jump head in.
As John yells out, his voice echoes back from the inside of the hill, but it gets like the echo that it has is strangely unsettling. It almost sounds distorted as it emerges from the dark opening.
Keen casts detect magic.
You cast detect magic. Remind me how that works again. So you ping, and then what's the distance here?
There's any magic within, I believe it's 30 feet, in a 30-foot emanation, then she just gets a yes or no out of it.
I'm gonna go with no.
All right. In that case, she will. Oh, of course I didn't prepare the light cantrip, so she won't be doing that.
John has lights cast. Well, he can cast lights on his sheet.
Okay. Yeah, you already gave yourself light. Yeah, the way this map is set up, the light will not fall into the thing, so you have to cross the threshold before you will actually see your light.
All right, should we take a look inside? Maybe there's more mushrooms.
Like, if only that fool had taken them with him. But If you insist, very well. Do you want me to go first?
That's all right. I can lead the way. Wait, no, I need a light. Actually,
Yeah.
let me see. Do I have a torch with me? I believe I do.
Don't we have an ever burning torch?
I do.
Just
How do
remember, just remember that you can't use the snagging strike if you're carrying a torch and your sword. Just pointing that
Yeah,
out.
but I can throw the
I can
torch.
carry the torch if you require.
Ah, yes, that would actually be helpful. There you go. And I hand you the torch. Can I do that? Can I just like
I
grab
think
it from in?
Keen can just flip on the torch on her token.
I just turned on her
I'm
light
not
for
out.
now.
I've seen somewhere a special module that I think even calls for like drop your torch, which.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a module for that. Yeah.
No.
All right, so we go in.
Okay. Chris first.
I'll go first.
All right.
Well, Melchis then will stealthily go into her shadow. Like almost literally shadow her.
All right. So you move into the hill, and yeah, you can go further a little bit. You should be able to walk through the dark threshold here. Yeah, there you go. And as you enter and your eyes sort of adjust to the gloom inside here, you see a stone chamber. Not a natural cavern, definitely worked stone. You see thick mats of spider webs that cluster in the corners, and the walls bear crude carvings of human soldiers standing at attention between shallow niches. A passageway deeper into the hill, on the far side, has an emblem above it. An open hand with a star on the palm. There are some sconces scattered around the room that flicker with an eerie greenish light. The rooms themselves are fairly high, like 8 feet high ceilings, and so is the passageway you're entering through.
I clicked on my chat sheet, but it didn't post in the chat that I want to draw my sword. Well, Melchis draws his sword.
All right.
Keen eyes those torches suspiciously and once again cast Detect Magic.
Yeah, there is some magic coming from those torches.
Do we recognize is the hand with the symbol thing? Is it familiar? Like, would we recognize it from somewhere?
Do you either have some sort of locally relevant lore or society?
I have religion.
Religion is not going to help.
Cool. Nope. Weird hand.
I have society, yes.
Oh, actually, haha, actually, religion might help.
Yeah, Keen's also looking at that.
Yeah. No.
Give me a second here.
Oh, what about occultism?
No religion. It would have to be religion.
Okay.
Well, if it has to be religion, I can do religion also.
Sorry, I'm missing a vital piece of information that I need to look up.
As Keen is realizing that there's already an abundance of light in here, she's just going to put the ever-burning torch away for a moment, just tucking it into her belt. keeping her hands free.
Crap. Sorry. I need to look this up.
I'm sure there are like super annoying players who would have like seen the mushrooms and just to piss off the GM would be like, oh yeah, we take the mushrooms and leave.
Yeah, you could do that. It's totally fine. You just
I know, they're just gonna suck.
miss out on this dungeon.
Yeah.
If your characters aren't interested if your characters aren't interested in loot and adventure, then so that's fine. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to look it up, but I'll give you the details later at some point. But you do realize with a 21 religion check, that it does have the markings of a religious symbol, but you can't quite place it. It's not a religious symbol that is in use these days. So maybe it is some sort of antiquated representation of a religion or a deity that is just has fallen out of style.
Well, it could have been one of those.
But as you move around the chamber, the light from your torches adding to the flickering greenish eerie illumination, the shadows dancing off the niches and the thick webbings. You like turn around several times as you feel like you heard a sound or something moved at the edge of your vision, and several times it's a false alarm. But then as you head deeper towards that passage, you clearly hear like a cracking sound and snapping of as you turn around, and you notice it's the sound of bones taking shape of humanoid skeletons in the four niches here. Here we have the four skeletons. They kind of like start to pick themselves off the floor. They break through the thick webbing, the rusty swords in their bony fingers. And if that wasn't terrifying enough, you hear what almost sounds like an inverted scream, as if somebody was screaming but pulling in the air. And a dark shape starts to coalesce and come into view at the northern edge of this room. Also humanoid, also kind of looking like a skeleton in some ways, but it just almost has this palpable aura of evil around it, and it's quite a terrifying sight to behold. You're gonna roll for initiative.
Why does my hatchet have two different kind of strikes?
Well, he's single-handed and two-handed.
But it's a one-handed weapon. It's not like the. It's not like the bastard sword that has the two-handed.
Does it have a? Can it be thrown?
Yeah, I think so. It says there's a thrown usage.
Oh, that's
Aha,
probably
so thrown is a +8. Yeah,
probably.
that makes sense.
Alright, now my NPCs. And Gris still needs to roll her initiative.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Where is it? Ah, yeah, I see it.
Just today we had played the Outlaws of Alkenstar, and our Gunslinger was deeply upset that in second edition enemies will always go first unless you have a feat for that.
They will always go first. What?
Yeah, in second Pathfinder, the enemies will go first always.
I mean, I don't mind if it goes first because it saves me the trouble of having to run towards it.
If initiative is equal, like the NPCs take precedence for some reason.
Okay. Well.
Oh,
Anyway.
on a tie.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, do you not use the initiative modifier as the tiebreaker first?
Doesn't seem so, no.
All right. The terrifying humanoid undead at the far end of the chamber, like with calm steps, emerges from that little alcove, and its mouth opens, and you can see like the rotting remains of flesh and muscle and sinew just kind of flaking off, as it's obviously using its mouth for the first time in a long time, and it yells out, "Protect your slumber at all costs," or rest, I should say. And it obviously yells, directed that at the other skeletons, and then it takes a step forward towards Gris and is going to try and claw you.
Bring it.
Check that I'm doing everything right with this creature. Okay, so we're gonna try a claw strike first of all. And that's a miss. And then it's gonna try a second claw, which is another miss. Okay, but you see, like the bones, the finger bones are sharp as blades, and there's also a black fog that wafts around it that is yeah, again, almost palpably evil. All right, Gris, your turn.
Indeed, my turn. And I definitely dodge its clawing strikes and return the favor with a one-handed sweep of my new hatchet, glowing runes, swinging towards it in a snagging strike.
With Clorta's hatchet, no less, and that's immediately a critical hit. So roll your crit damage.
Nice.
16 points of damage, which yeah, hurts the creature greatly, but
And it's flat-footed until next turn.
and it is flat-footed until your next turn. No save or anything, right? That's just
Nope.
what it is for everyone. Yeah.
I am
All right.
very grateful.
More actions.
Yes, like strike one and hit, and keep on like just going at it as if it were a tree, and I'm just channeling Clorza's rage. Oh, that hit.
Oh yeah, just by almost through sheer luck, but maybe it is this and another 11 points of damage.
This axe is just swinging, runes glowing, and Grace is just shouting at the top of her lungs. Ah, die, undead scum! Die again!
Yeah, and it emits horrible screeching sounds as you start to greatly hurt it. By the way, it's Clortis, so it's a KL or 2. Here we go. Like this.
I will remedy that.
Okay, so that was Gris's turn, then it's Melchis.
Well, Melchis
Why
will.
is a white?
Mhm.
What's that?
Why is a white telling us how to spell the?
A good question. I guess
It's a grammar white.
it's a grand white, exactly. The worst kind.
Yeah. Melchis will immediately jump on him, and can you please unpause it?
Yes.
And since I've already drawn my sword, he will try to stab this guy. So, saying that, well, that dead should not tell no tales. So kindly just go back to the grave, and I will stab him.
Stabby, stabby.
Then I believe it should now take into account the sneak attack for flat-footedness. Oh, very nice.
It did take it into account, and it's 16 points of damage. You are close to destroying this thing. You can see it badly damaged. It's near permanent death.
And I believe sneak attack still works only once per round, right?
Does it?
I
I
don't
don't
remember.
think so.
No. What? I think it's always. It has never been just once per round.
You're thinking of 5th edition.
Maybe. If you strike a creature that is flat-footed with an agile or finest weapon.
And also, it's also like when you surprise somebody, like when you attack from invisibility or something, they're only flat-footed for your first attack, which is why you only get sneak attack for the first attack. But this one is permanently flat-footed.
Yeah, okay. Well, I will try to stab him again then.
Mm-hmm.
And this
Another
one,
hit.
I hit him normally, and that will be, I think,
11.
Yeah.
And that is enough to bring the white down.
Very
But
nice.
as you strike it for the final time, it is already kind of like bursting apart, about to just fall to the ground, permanently destroyed. But with one last vicious reaction, it tries to attack you through sheer spite.
Mm-hmm.
The reaction called Final Spite. It's a 29. Is that a
think
critical?
that's it. Well, my AC is exactly 19, but
Oh.
I will probably nimbly dodge that to avoid being critted.
That might make sense. Yeah. All right. So then it's just regular damage, which is 10 points, and I will need you to make this save.
So nifty. It avoids a crit, too.
Yeah, that is really a really good use of it. You succeed. Okay, so yeah, it unexpected attack, like basically rips open your arm, but that's it. That was your turn. Keen Marrow.
What do these other skeletons look like they're doing?
They're like kind of still picking themselves up, like peeling themselves out of the thick webbing, but they're reaching for the weapons they're about to come in and attack. It's pretty obvious.
What weapons does it look like they have?
Rusty scimitars. They even have some moldy short bows strapped to them,
Okay.
and their claws fairly sharp.
She's gonna risk it a little bit. She's gonna stride towards. Well, I won't metagame it too much. She's not gonna go for the next in initiative, but she's gonna go for the one closest to her. Over here, and she is going to just try to snap those bones into pieces with her jaws.
All right, let's see that.
Target.
That's a hit.
5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. It has. This is what kind of damage? Piercing?
It is piercing from her. Is it piercing?
Yeah, it does say 1d8 piercing. So in this case, let's see what happens when I take the damage, because it should have some resistance against it. And that didn't work. Okay, so I have to manually consider the resistance. Yeah, so it's like you go for the bones, you try to crack them, but they're just almost fossilized. They're hard as rock, and your piercing teeth just scratch over the surface.
Okay, well, that's unfortunate. 1d6
Third action.
it only deals piercing damage. She'll try again.
All right.
She's gonna put herself out there.
Okay, that's a miss. And then
Tried it away. Oh, well.
could have. All right, and then we have one of the skeletons come shambling forward from the corner in like these jerky kind of movements, all of its joints being very stiff. But by the time it reaches John, it is sort of hitting its stride and coming out swinging with its scimitar. Sorry, I should have targeted you first. It's a 19.
The miss.
That's a miss. All right, then it just follows up with its claw and misses again. And then it's John's turn.
John will retaliate with a strike of his own and miss. He's gonna do that again.
You try to shield bash.
Did I click?
It says.
Oh yeah, I clicked. Oh, it went. Oh, that's weird. My shield bash went to the top of the list. I was planning to use the warhammer, but it's the same modifier.
Okay, well then.
I'll just roll the damage from the warhammer.
Yeah, and the bludgeoning force of the warhammer is exactly the right tool to smash the skeleton to pieces.
To where it came from.
Vanished. Third action.
That was it. Two. Oh no, that was just 2 attacks. All right. 2 attacks. Well, third one, he will raise his shield.
Okay. All right. The skeleton that Keen is cornering there reaches for its scimitar and then brings it up in a jagged swing. Of course, attacking Keen. There we go. That's a miss. Following up with a claw. Critical hit with the claw. 12 points of damage to the gnoll. And
that is okay, yeah, 12 points.
and since it's with its back against the wall, it doesn't really have anything else to do. It just kind of flails with its claws, trying to do as much damage as it can, but it is easy enough to dodge that last attack. One more skeleton comes out, picks itself up, grabs the scimitar, and attacks Gris. Alright, with the scimitar once, that's a hit for 5 points of damage, and then it follows up with the claw, which is a critical miss. And then we have one more skeleton out here, which comes out to attack Melchis with its scimitar. That's a hit for 7 points of damage, and followed up by its claw with a miss. Yeah, so all the skeletons come out of their little nooks, trying to rush you, and then it's Gris's turn.
I let out a fierce, bleeding shriek of battle and snag and strike the skeleton in front of me that tried to scratch me.
And it's a miss.
And I missed. But I press on because I am relentless.
And
Yes.
it pays off. Roll for damage.
Aha!
Please, even though this slashing damage is certainly mitigated by the fact that those bones, as I said, are almost stone at this point, but just you use the flat of your blade and just kind of swing through. Oh wait, it's a hatchet. Well, anyway, you still use the broad side of it, and just the pure momentum of the swing smashes the skeleton to bits. Third action.
Third action, I run over here and see, yeah, kind of like making my way towards King Marrow.
Nice. Melchis.
Well, Melchis will take note of what John did with the skeleton. So after cringing at his own wounds, he will reach into his jacket and I will draw a knuckle duster. After which I will punch a skeleton in the face. And I will do so again.
Well, there's not a whole lot of face, so it's easy to miss. And that was your whole turn?
No, I will do it again.
Okay. Oh, there you go. You zeroed in on it. Roll for damage. And you smash the skull, and the rest of the skeleton falls inanimate to the ground. Nice job. Keen.
Keen is like massaging her jaw from this poorly thought out strike, and she is going to mutter some words in Null as she begins to take a different attack. If she doesn't have the strength to kill this thing, maybe her ancestors do, and she's going to reach out towards it with one paw, but as she does so, there's sort of like another kind of ghostly paw that's overlaid over it that reaches out and she tries to touch the thing.
Chill touch. Fortitude save. Let's see, what do we have here? We have necromancy, negative, and occult tags, immunity. This is not a death effect, is that right? No. It has resistances, and this is, well, first of all, no roll the save. Oh, look at that.
Well, it is a guard, so it probably stealed his will, or whatever.
It seems Keen's ancestors don't have the strength to defeat this thing either, so she's going to stride away going, "Help!"
It is not a null skeleton. Maybe that's why they don't hold any sway over it. Oh, that's interesting though that it doesn't actually do cold damage. It just flat-footed it and could cause it to flee. Interesting. All right. John.
John is going to move over here, and then with his remaining 2 actions, he's going to ready 1 act to swing at it once it moves forward.
Okay. Smart move. Opening up its flank so that 2 people can attack it. Unfortunately, skeletons are not very bright, so it steps forward. Ooh! And that was the last thing that it did. As John just is ready for it. He had just already pulled back his hammer, was just waiting for it to come within its reach, and then he, with it full force, strikes the skeleton's chest with the warhammer, obliterating it. And the encounter ends. the eeriness of the place doesn't go away just with those few undead on the floor. However, there's that dark corridor up ahead. You see some more green light flickering deeper in the hill, and it's beckoning.
What do the sconces look like?
They just hold they
Are
just
there
hold
torches in?
oh, they just hold this like these like greenish balls of light that continuously shift and flicker.
The raid said something about not letting us disturb her slumber. Is there anything like a sarcophagus or something like that?
I should have said her rest. Sorry, not
Or
slumber.
rest, sorry.
Yeah. No, there's nothing to see here.
Because I feel like disturbing somebody's rest.
I mean,
We're gonna have to move ahead.
it's totally a valid notion that this like maybe this is some kind of tomb, but you don't see a sarcophagus or anything here.
Keen
Be
is,
ready, there might be more of these things.
Keen's like,
Could we hold a moment? I suffered a wound.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, as Gris waits for somebody to take care of Keen's wounds, she scouts ahead a little bit and enters a large hall that is connected to the entry chamber. Through that opening here in the south of the hall. The hall has 6 stout pillars that hold up the ceiling, and each of the pillar is carved with overlapping symbols of star knives. There are sconces flickering with the same unnatural green light that hang on the smooth stone walls. And I'm not sure if yeah, you do see in that eerie shifting light up ahead in the distance, in the northeast of the large hall, you see another passage that stands open, waiting to be explored.
Would like people living in Otari know that the Star Knight is kind of like the symbol or the symbol of the cosmic caravan?
It's actually not just that.
It's
I
will be
think you'd probably most like your immediate conclusion would be more something connected to Desna.
well, yeah, it's
It's her.
one of her most iconic symbols, so it probably would be some of her iconography, but now of course it is also connected to the caravan as well.
Mhm. And Grizz, give me a perception check, please. Just Grizz. And by the way, feel free to take care of Keen's wounds in the
Okay.
meantime. 23. Okay. So Grizz, like I said, the pillars are covered in these runes, and you get this almost like hum from them, as if they were reverberating with probably magical energies.
What happens if I press my hand against one of the pillars?
It gives you a slight tingling sensation, so you do sense like some sort of power running through these pillars, but nothing else.
Whoa, creepy.
Bite the pain stick. Always good when your healer has a pain stick. But he knows what he's doing, apparently.
Well, somewhat. This healing critical is nowhere as impressive as my previous ones. But I can move on now, so.
Alright, yeah. As you catch up to Gris, you see her probably, stare and wonder, or how would you describe it, Ale?
Yeah, just kind of like pressing the hand against the column and completely like taking in like the whole atmosphere of the place, the humming and like, the strange magic emanating.
As the others move into the room, feel free to also roll perception.
If Gris is making a big deal about this energy, Keen is detecting magic as well.
Yeah. And yes, there is magic in this room. And Keen, you're just about to yell out a warning as you realize that that magical energy that Gris is feeling is not just reverberating within each individual pillar. It's more as if all the pillars are connected in some way, and that energy is kind of going back and forth between the pillars. But before you can warn your companions, Melchis and John step between the pillars, hence triggering some sort of magical mechanism that is going to hurt. So we're going to... it's a complex trap, I can tell you that. I've never actually done one. So I think we're going to start with initiative? Pretty sure. And I think it's initiative. And I believe it uses its stealth DC for initiative. Because
we are poor. There you go.
Yeah, that's okay. So I don't want anyone to move right now.
Do we re-roll our perception checks, or do we use the ones we just rolled?
Oh yeah, good point. You can let's use the ones you have. That's a good point. That makes a lot of sense.
Those are specifically against the stealth of the trap, right?
That's true. Yeah, so
I'm totally not doing it just to get the 25.
No, that's fine. That's okay. I think you can just push that button and then it'll...
Yeah.
Oh, you already did. Okay. And John, you also have your lower perception check there. Yeah. Okay. So you should be able to just push that button. But nevertheless, the trap actually rolled slightly higher than Keen, to be 26 to be exact. So yeah, so it's really just like that one little moment that Keen would have needed to warn her companions that she doesn't get. As some of the runes, of those star knife-shaped runes, start to glow on the pillars, and then actually peel off the pillar and shoot towards Melchis and John. And what's going to happen is that the trap gets 3 actions, and one by one, each time a different pillar glows, and one of those magical star knives comes shooting out at a random creature within range. And within range means actually anyone in the room. So you might have cover if you're lucky. So let's see. We'll have a random pillar first, and I'm gonna go left to right and up and down alternatively. So we'll have D6 to find out which pillar. Oops, that's wrong. Is it double? Yeah. Pillar number 6 with this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's the bottom right pillar. And it shoots one at, and we're gonna go top down for characters. 1, 2, 3. It shoots at Gris. And as it turns out, in this case, you don't have cover. I'll target you and then shoot a star knife at you. Whoosh. That's a miss, nonetheless. Okay, then we have another pillar activate. Pillar number 4, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. This one, and it selects a target randomly, which in this case is Keen. You have soft cover from Gris because of Gris. And it also has has to take the multiple attack penalty into account. So it's a miss.
Just misses.
And then we have another random pillar activate, in this case the one right next to John and Melchis, and it's gonna pick a target, and it's Gris again, and it's definitely no cover whatsoever, but multiple attack penalty. Ooh, still a hit, and that's 5 points of magical damage as one of those star knives made of pure energy hit you for 5 points of damage and probably just give you magical burns of some kind. And then it's Keen's turn.
Okay. Well, Keen just observed all of this. She sensed the energy moving between the pillars. Is there some sort of recall knowledge check she could make to try and understand the exact nature of this trap, or how specifically one might have deactivated it?
I think you don't need to recall knowledge here because that's kind of part of. I think it's part of noticing the trap. If there's nothing listed specifically, so you would assume that dispel magic, since all of the pillars are connected, you would need to cast dispel magic on at least 4 of the 6 pillars. You think, just in the way that energy flows. You think that destroying 4 of the pillars would probably also work, or finally, just kind of severing the connections by scraping out some of the runes using thievery might help.
Is there any way that she could possibly guess how long this trap will be active for? Like, will it do this forever now, or
Well, you see plenty of runes on it, and it doesn't look like it's like the star knives that come out don't actually then it's not like a rune disappears after. So you think that it can probably keep this up for quite some time.
She is, but you said it seems clear that it only targets things in the room. I mean, obviously, if you get out of the room, it probably can't.
And it only started when your friends started walking through between some of the pillars.
Okay, Keen's just gonna call out,
Fall back, regroup. We must approach this with a different strategy.
as she begins to back away. Why can't I move? Oh, the game is paused.
Oh, I paused, sorry. There you go. Now you should.
She's just getting back and like, actually, maybe what she'll do is she'll even fall back as far as one of these nooks to just really ensure there's no line of sight to her even through the doorway.
Okay.
Or maybe
So
more like actually over
back against the wall. Yeah. All right. Gris.
Okay, so I do not want to get hit by any of these things. Have I figured out like the mechanism that's triggering it, or is it just gonna be like shooting things at us constantly?
I mean, you also beat the DC. Did you actually beat the DC? Yeah, you did. Yeah, so you would know the same thing, that it's since all of the pillars are part of this mechanism, you would have to deactivate at least 4 of them for the whole thing to come down. And deactivating in the best way that you could think of it would be to just destroy one of them.
That sounds like what I would like to do.
All right.
So I will try to destroy the one in front of me.
Okay. 17, I mean, obviously you hit it, but it's so hard, it is literally a stone pillar that it like sends vibrations through your hatchet, but it doesn't, your hatchet doesn't make a dent in it. That was action number 1.
I boop it again.
Nope.
And action number 3, where can I move to get at least some kind of cover? Like here?
Well, if that pillar activates, you would have no cover. So you don't, it could be any of the pillars. You
Yeah.
think that
But
it's
at least this one will cover me from the rest, so I take cover
True.
there.
Okay. All right. Well, disregarding Keen's suggestion intentionally, or did you miss that?
What did I miss?
Did you Keen was yelling out, let's withdraw, regroup, we need to approach this with a different strategy?
Yes, no, I missed that. So, yeah, no, that would be like, yeah, definitely the smarter move.
You can
No,
do
no,
what
yeah,
you-
I did not hear that.
It might be just playing your character, but
No, yeah, but my character is not a meathead. Reckless and rash for sure, but like not dumb.
okay. John.
I was looking at this spell magic. You said we'd need to, or is that something that only Keen knows about how to deactivate?
Since you haven't even noticed it, I don't think you would know at this point how to
Okay.
deactivate.
Well, everybody's running away, so he's going to follow suit.
All right. You give. You run off, and then it's Melchis.
Well, I guess I'll just have to follow the leader and also use my actions to run away. At least so we can regroup and exchange information.
All right.
I'm not hearing anything.
You didn't hear Karnas? Can you hear me?
I heard him.
I run away.
All right. Okay. So you all run off, and the pillar. Well, you can still see them like brimming with that energy now that the runes are actually glowing. Now that it had activated, and there's like magical energy running all over these carvings, and it's really like you can see this clear burst as all that magical energy discharges. But then after a round goes by, a little bit of time passes, the glow starts to disappear and fade away.
So Melchis will just, I suppose, ask the more obvious question since he didn't notice much. So what the hell was that? I mean, why doesn't it trust to murder us? I mean, I thought she was a nice goddess.
Could not say, but it is some sort of trap made of magic. The pillars are connected to each other. You activate.
Yeah, I tried bashing one with my axe and it didn't even scratch it. Makes no sense.
They are quite strong, yes.
Keen kind of strokes her chin.
Well, I have a dispel magic prepared. Would that help?
Dispel.
I mean, is it possible to somehow maybe disable it, or? I mean, magical traps are not exactly my forte, but if you tell me what to do, I'll try to get it.
Yes. This is why it is good to have a pack. Yes. You and your dispel. Yes, it could work. Disable a pillar, maybe two, and you could perhaps deface the runes, erase them, or make them useless. Would end the magic.
Melchis will
But it is
draw.
danger the entire time.
Melchis will draw his thieves' tools and try to look through them, and he will pull a thing like Well, I see. I have this diamond scrapper here. Usually, it's supposed to be checked for locks for hardness to drill in later, but I suppose it should be capable to handle some stone carvings too.
Perhaps we each take a different approach to destroy or disable a different pillar. You, Gris, with your weapon, you with your magic, John, and you with your tools. I will supervise from back here.
Of course you will. Aye, aye. Now then. Do we now reroll initiative or we just run as is?
We're out of the encounter right now, so you can move if you want to.
It does seem that walking through the pillars activates them, though. I would suggest that we try to move around them, yes? If you must approach a pillar, do not pass between two.
Okay.
If she can, before John rushes into the room, this big door thing that's on the map here, what is that exactly?
It is a door, but it's open.
Is it like kind of sitting off to the side like that, or is it actually like on a hinge or something?
It's like on some sort of mechanism so that you can slide it open and shut.
Okay. So it's not just freestanding.
No, it's more like a pocket sort of thing.
Does it look like it could be removed or detached in some way?
It's probably like it must be very heavy. It's solid stone. It's pretty thick.
Ancient dungeons always take great pains in preventing doors from being stolen. It comes from ancient times when doors were still made of adamantine. So adventurers would use just come in and steal the doors instead of loot. So later designs of dungeons moved on to create doors from either stone or enchanted wood, so it would not be like precious metals.
That doesn't sound correct, but I don't know enough about dungeons to dispute it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just logic.
Very well then.
Yeah. This is also not a dungeon, but you know, semantics.
Yeah, what is this place? Never heard of it.
Uphill. Okay, so you move into the room, and you can give me perception checks if you're in there. Nope, nope. Nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, Gris, if you move in there, you get a similar sensation than what you felt before. You still feel like that energy in those pillars, but it feels much subdued. It's just kind of like still there, but it's just almost like it's building up another charge, if you will. Although we don't hear you if you're trying to talk to us. I'm not sure if you still have sound issues, but we can't hear you. Okay, well, I think it's fine for everyone else, which makes me think that you might want to relog.
Yeah, it's definitely on my end because it's been just started recently.
Okay,
I don't have anything else open.
Now we can hear you just fine.
Yeah, now it's working fine. So the energy is subdued. What's the last thing I heard?
It's almost like it's building up another charge, but
Okay, so as it builds up a charge, maybe we can rush to the other side.
Of course, that would be the first thing you'd suggest.
There might not even be a need to deactivate the trap.
Does she say this? Like, out loud?
Yeah. It's 60 feet.
Keen's gonna go then. She's gonna, because she's kind of in front. Well, in front of Gris at least.
I'll do it.
Where's
All right. So Gris just kind of almost pushes Keen aside as Keen slowly makes her way towards the pillars.
Yeah.
To go.
Roll up my sleeves, do that little jumps that like runners do right before running, like limbering up. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Here goes nothing.
And she runs and she charges, and you all collectively hold your breath as she crosses between the pillars, but nothing happens.
Keen smacks her forehead as she watches Gris run through the pillar.
But indeed, maybe she was just lucky, but nothing happened.
Well, I guess we can try to just move past it.
Keen's still not investing it. She's going the long way.
So none of the others dare to charge between the pillars, but you circle around and catch up with Gris. And then you move into the next room. Once again, there's a passage here, but the door is open, and the light in the next room is still this flickering green, sickly, unnatural feeling light. And you move in here, and then this purpose becomes crystal clear. As you see at the southern end, a large stone sarcophagus decorated with carvings of a star and the palm of a hand. And the sarcophagus appears kind of cracked, and there's an inky goo that dribbles out of it. There are two more coffins that flank the sarcophagus, and both of those are just slightly ajar. Like the lid of them is just slightly moved.
Are there any bodies?
There is a body leaning against the this one, kind of slumped against it, is the body of what looks like a half-orc, just wearing not wearing armor or anything, just kind of wearing like regular laborer's clothes. And what's kind of the only thing that seems out of the ordinary, besides the fact that he's obviously dead, is that his hair is white, but he doesn't look that old.
Apart from the white hair, how fresh does the body look? Could this be our mushroom picker?
Yeah. It does not look like it has decomposed at all. It's fairly fresh. It's obvious. But you can give me a perception check, everyone, as you're taking the scene. Wow. Okay. So Gris and Melchis, you notice something disturbing about that body. I mean, you know that this light is kind of weird, but you also brought your own light. But none of the light sources here cause this body to cast a shadow.
Uh-oh.
Alright, my knuckles turn white at the grip of the Cleric hatchet.
Melchis' eyes will start to dart into the corners, and he actually will stand back to back with Gris.
What is it?
The shadows. Count the shadows.
You count your shadows. You still all have shadows.
Peter Pan.
Can Keen make some sort of knowledge check about whatever
Sure.
they're saying. The orc
Yeah.
with the white hair and missing shadows.
Your religion or occult?
A cult it is.
Where is it? 19. Well, you have heard stories of powerful magic users stealing somebody's shadow to gain influence over them, to hold power over them in some way. It's not unheard of.
Keen grumbles, I did not prepare the right spells for this.
Fancy and magic at its finest.
If we call to the person, do we get any answer?
No response at all.
Well, John is going to step closer.
All right, you step closer. Nothing seems to happen.
Yeah,
Your breath.
Melchis' face will
Another
be like,
step closer. While the rest hangs back and watches you with bated breath. You
yeah, Melchis almost literally.
you take another step closer, and then hear the sound of stone grinding on stone as the lid of the sarcophagus over here starts moving, and a hand reaches out. Not a skeletal hand. There's bone already showing in places, but there is flesh on it. But the flesh is like has this very necrotic looking texture, clearly rotting. As the lid of the sarcophagus slides open, there's a burst of foul air that erupts from it, immediately fills the chamber, just rot and decay, and a zombie shambles forth, just pulling itself out of the sarcophagus, awkwardly swinging its rotting legs over the side, and getting ready to eat your brains. So let's roll initiative, shall we?
New rolls?
Yes, please. Alright, oof. Oof. All right, John, you were probably waiting for something like this to happen because you are ready to respond. Oh, I don't have Gris in here. Why do I not have Gris? Have you not rolled yet? No,
Yeah, I did.
you rolled perception, but not in. No, you did roll.
Yeah, it's finished.
Why do you not show up?
Selected my token and everything.
Maybe I accidentally removed you from the tracker. I'll put it in.
Oh, or maybe he rolled normal perception, not
No,
normal
it's
perception.
possible that I added him just after he rolled, or after Gris finished. All right. Yeah, John, you're still first.
Okay. Well, a zombie is rising from a grave. John is going to raise his shield, stride towards it, and try to put it down.
23 is a hit, so you roll for damage. And that is bludgeoning. It does not have a resistance toward that. Yeah, it's just regular damage. Yeah, so you hit it. It's a sickening sound as your hammer hits the rotting flesh. It just, it just gives this sort of sound as pockets of necrotic fluids pop open, and some of the flesh falls off in large chunks. Third action?
That was 3. Raise shield, move, and strike.
Oh, raise shield, right. Melchis.
I guess Melchis will have to join on the fun, and first he will move, I suppose, like this, and stab. Yeah, thankfully my sword was already drawn, so... Ooh, nice.
Nice.
That's not nice, but... That's something.
That is the critical? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It is piercing. Okay, that's just regular damage for it. All right, but you immediately like you jump the zombie before it can really do anything, and
The
do
dead
serious damage to it.
The dead should stay on their place. And I will use my second attack on him as well. Well, their AC is very low. And my damage is very low also.
All right. Yeah, you're brutalizing that zombie, but it's not destroyed that easily. All right, you hear another scraping sound as from the other sarcophagus. Another zombie works its way out of its resting place using one of its actions, and they are actually slowed, which means they only have 2 actions, so it's just gonna climb out of the sarcophagus and shamble towards John slowly without an action left to actually attack him. But that's not the most scary thing in this encounter, because both zombies, like as they start to kind of reach out to grab for your throats, in like at the same time, both of them just turn their heads and stare at the large sarcophagus and that black inky ooze that comes out of it, and you feel your eyes drawn towards that as well, and there's this black cloud that starts to well up out of the crack in the sarcophagus and then starts to rise from the ground into what kind of vaguely looks like a humanoid shape as a shadowy creature rises from the puddle. Okay,
John, fuck it up.
I'll say it'll I'll say it'll take an action for it to take full shape, I would say. And then it is going to kind of dive into the floor immediately and pop up here to reach out with one of its wispy shadow fog-like appendages to touch John. So it's going to move and well, like I said, it took an action for it to form, so it's not going to be able to do it yet. So it's just kind of sitting in the floor just now, and you see like every now and then there's like a wisp of black shadowy fog that comes out of the ground, so you can vaguely see where it is because of that. And Gris's turn.
Okay. Strange shadows, zombies, all parts of a day's work. I rush over here and try to do a snagging strike on the first zombie, trying not to get freaked out by the giant shadow.
Oh, look at you!
Ooh. Bam!
Go for it.
Yes.
24. And it's also like the hatchet is super effective. It's just chopping the rotting meat right off the bones of this undead creature, and you lay it low with a single blow.
I shout, thank you, Glortus!
We have a new lumberjacker.
Oh yeah. And I turn for my final action. I turn my attention towards the shadow, and I have a horrible feeling about this, but I swing anyway.
It is currently in the ground, so there's basically no way to target it.
Ah, it's shadow on the ground. Okay.
And you don't have an action left to ready because ready takes 2 actions to ready
Yeah.
action. So
I am going to. Well, if it's just a shadow on the ground, then I will move over here.
all right, cool. The undead that is not yet even fully emerged from its sarcophagus is just mindlessly going for the closest target, which is 3 options. So I guess it's too slow to really respond to Gris popping up behind it. So it's just gonna pick between Melchis and John. And that's a 1, so that's Melchis. And it's going to try and let's see. It's going to try to attack you with its fist, so it reaches out and just goes, and it misses, and then it tries to bite you on top of that.
Yeah, I think I will nimbly dodge that. I don't want to be bitten by a zombie.
All right, and then it just kind of goes like, continues to try to bite you with its -10 map, which of course means it misses. And then it's Keen Marrow's turn.
This is bad. Okay, can I I feel like I keep doing this, but can I try to recall any more knowledge now that I see this thing to know what I'm dealing with? Identify the future?
Yeah, but this case, unless you have some lore that you think might be relevant, it would be religion.
I don't believe I do have necromancy lore specifically.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is undead
Yep.
actually.
No, let's do it. Yep, that's good.
All right.
That's actually very specific lore. I'll give you the lowest DC for that.
Awesome.
Nice. Yeah. It's a shadow. It is an incorporeal evil undead that lurks in the darkness, like forgotten tombs like this one. It is not incredibly smart, but it is definitely sentient in some way. It has a certain amount of guile. It is vulnerable to light. And it likes to slink in the shadows, which means that it can hide in the shadows. Oh yeah, the most important thing is that it can steal shadows of living creatures by striking them. And if it does so, the stolen shadow causes the original creature to be enfeebled. And if you die by the hands of a shadow, you become a spawn of this shadow. Wait, sorry. That's not true. It actually turns the shadow of the creature into a spawn, so that your own shadow might attack you, doing its master's bidding.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something useful is they're resistant to all kinds of damage except force, ghost touch, or positive energy, and they have a double resistance against anything that's not magical.
Okay. Does she know if it would be affected by enchantment or emotion effects? It does have a mind, right? It's sentient. You
It
said
has
it's
a
not
mind.
magical.
Yes, and you rolled like twice the result that you needed, so I'm gonna just give you its immunities. It's the listed immunities are death effects, disease, paralyzed, poison, precision, and unconscious.
Okay. Keen will do her best to summarize all of these things.
It can steal your shadows. Your weapons will not be weak, or your weapons will be weak against it, unless they are magical. Or it doesn't like light.
And she's like trying to rattle off as many things as she can remember. And it's underground for the moment, right? It's out of sight, so she can't target it. All right, so one action to recall knowledge, I think. She is going to use the remaining 2 actions to ready a casting of Evil Eye for when it becomes targetable again.
Okay.
And as she does so, she's gonna call out,
perhaps we would do best not to face this foe directly.
and she's gonna leave it at that.
Okay. John.
Keen mentioned something about magical weapons. So he is going to cast magic weapon on his hammer.
Very good. And it starts to glimmer with magic and energy.
Yeah, you pull the effect and it lets you choose on which weapon you're going to apply it.
Cool.
It's pretty well done. And it is still in the ground, I believe. So he is going to test his newly magical weapon on the zombie.
All right.
I forgot to target. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a hit. Okay, and bludgeoning just as a regularly effective. So yeah, so you just smash the body into a pulp. That was action number 2 or 3? 3. So because it's casting time 2, I see. Melchis.
Well, the shadow is underground, so I can't actually see it. So
Correct.
in this case, I suppose Melchis will try to make the best of his turn, and he will spread the presence of our party. So he will dash to the other side of the room, just in case. And basically he wants to prepare to on his once the shadow appears to just prepare to stab it later, I suppose, on the next turn. I mean, I can stab the ground, so
I believe, I'm not sure if that's still the case in in 2E, but you used to be able to include a step in your readied action. But I guess that's not the case. No, you just choose a sequence.
in either way, Melchis basically tries to lean into the wall, and his eyes dart into again, like at every corner, so preparing for appearance of the shadow.
Okay, but I mean, what is it that you want to do when it appears?
I will. Okay. I will prepare then a move to, a stride to stride into the flanking position. So in this case, like here or wherever it appears.
All right.
So he will like be right here, like, melding into the stone.
All right. The shadow rises from the ground, because I don't think it has any means of, pinpointing your position from within the ground. So that means Keen gets triggered.
Evil Eye.
Evil Eye. I believe that's a will save for me, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And Melchis will then immediately try to move in right here.
24 will save, so it's unaffected. Melchis moves into flanking position, and the shadow seems unimpressed by that and reaches out to touch John with its shadow hand, striking hit, doing 13 points of negative energy damage. And then as a third action, it'll try to steal your shadow. It pulls at your shadow as it withdraws its hand. It just kind of grabs your shadow, which makes you enfeebled. Bum, 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 bum. All right, so we have that. And now your shadow has been pulled free, which means that it becomes a shadow spawn right here. Do we have the wait? The Z? Yeah. Yes. Look at that. Oh, but it somehow superimposes the skull on top of the whole stack. Anyway, so it pulls out your shadow and then lets go of it, and your shadow rises from the ground itself, becoming a magical undead shadow creature. But it does, like, the way that it moves, it's a lot more jerky than the gentle flowing movements of the original shadow. And that was its turn. It can't sink back into the ground because that would take another action. Gris. We don't hear you, Ale, if you're talking. No, we heard something.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Keen. So I gave you my ever-burning torch, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that was a mistake. But I still have the torch in my backpack. So as an action, I'm gonna take out one of my torches.
Okay.
And kind of like, does it have any? I will swing it using my lunge action. Does it affect if I'm using it on, like, on my left hand?
Well, it's not on yet. You would have to take another action to actually light the torch. So it's two
Right.
actions.
I will use another action to light the torch.
Yeah, and then, oh right, but you have the third action, so you could lunge with it. That's true.
Yes. So I'm going to lunge at it at Keen's shadow. I should have targeted it.
John's shadow, you mean? Or... No, the original shadow. Okay, that is, and oh, nice, has everything built in. That's a hit, of course, so you can roll your damage normally because it is a magical weapon in that for that purpose. So that's 4 points. All right, so it doesn't have enough oomph to actually hurt it with the bludgeoning, but it does 1 point of fire damage. Wait, but it's against all kinds of damage. There's resistance, so that includes the fire damage. Yeah, it doesn't seem to do anything. It's just too weak.
Okay.
But it was good thinking for sure. Lily is a powerful creature, not thwarted by a mere torch. Keen.
Yeah, that's a really high will save. That's not good. Especially since she missed the evil eye and she can't do it again. She's gonna try to just maybe she'll get lucky. She doesn't have a lot of options with her current spell list, so she's going to look at the thing and she'll say,
The dead of my kin surround me every day. I do not fear death.
and she's going to try and draw its ire
Pulling aggro. That's a success. It's a
Okay.
regular success, so it takes half damage and the penalty. Spell it.
So that's only the 4 points. And I guess she'll use her third action to. You can't draw an object as you stride, right? Or can you? It's a separate thing, I think, right?
Pretty sure. There's a feat that lets you draw and attack with the same action.
Okay. Then in that case, she's gonna pull. I mean, John already has light. It's not really affecting a thing she can see. I don't know if the ever burning torch will really do anything additional. But she's gonna try it. She'll pull out the ever burning torch and have it in hand. Try to cast a little more light.
All right. I'm not entirely sure. Like, it's mental damage, and its resistances are listed as all damage 5, except force, ghost touch, positive, and double resistance versus non-magical. So that makes it sound like even the mental damage is reduced by 5.
Would seem to imply that, yeah. I mean, it's magical, so it's not double reduced, but it is reduced, so it's.
And I guess it kind of makes sense because it does have a mind of sorts, but not like not a regular mind. It's just an undead, weird mind. So I guess that's really what it means, reduce the damage. And as far as I know, too, he doesn't make any difference between like energy resistance and physical damage resistance and stuff. It's all resistance, right?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. All right, that was its turn. John.
Well, we're facing undead. Maybe this will work.
It might. Let's see. The major shadow gets to roll its save. And fails! And the shadow spawn rolls its save and succeeds critically. But what do we see? We see
It's
9
John Shadow,
points
so
of
it's normal
positive
wisdom.
energy damage, which goes around its resistance, and it just takes the full amount of damage. Boom.
Barely great.
Barely. The other one takes succeeded at the save, which means critically succeeded, which means no damage.
And everybody else does pick up the 9 hit points.
Oh, it does both. Okay. It's not like in 1E where it's either or. Okay, cool.
It does both?
Yeah, it does. If the target is a willing living,
And undead creatures in the burst. Wow.
That's really cool. It's a significant bump from channel energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it always was kind of weird that it would only do one or the other, I feel like. Anyway. Okay, so that was all your 3 actions?
Yep.
Alright, desperately calling out to your god to protect you in this hour of need. Melchis.
Well, since I've positioned myself in this position, I might as well try to stab it in the back, even though it will be immune to my sneak attack, unfortunately. But my sword is magical, so maybe something will happen. No. Maybe something will happen again. Oh, there we go.
Oh, shit. Okay, your sneak attack does not apply because it's immune to precision damage. Which in this case means this is 4 points of damage. 5 points.
Yeah.
Which is not enough to get through its damage resistance. So you just poke the shadow and your blade seems to go right through. Action number 3.
Yeah. Well, I'll stab it again just for good measure.
And it's a miss. Alright, the clumsy shadow spawn is attacking its former body. It just kind of like clumsily reaches out to strike John and hits you for 15. And then it tries to hit you again and hits you for 14. And it tries to hit you again, but misses. The original shadow turns around to target Melchis, and it strikes you once, critically hits,
Oh my god.
26 points of damage, and then it steals your shadow, which makes you enfeebled, and creates another shadow spawn right next to you, shaped like your own shadow, before sinking into the ground.
Yeah, it's time to run.
And then it's Gris's turn.
Okay, so I don't seem to have anything else flammable in my equipment. Not wanting to getting closer. I'm still gonna try and strike it with the torch, hoping to somehow dispel the shadow. Wait, actually, is there anything flammable inside here?
I think Keen mentioned that magic weapons are okay at damaging it.
Yeah, but I don't have any magic weapons.
You
The
cast
hatchet
magic.
is magic.
Ah, is Glurtus hatchet magical?
Well, of
Well,
course.
it's a
Yeah.
+1.
It is +1 striking.
+1.
Oh, then I will hit it with that instead because it's much more efficient.
It is.
Swing and incorporeal form. That's what I'm trying to.
That's how
I
you
should
do
have
it.
targeted.
Do the crit.
I am loving this hatchet.
And it's 16 points of damage. Nonetheless, some of it gets caught up in the damage resistance, but
Hmm?
for the first time in this encounter, somebody actually made something that looks like damage to one of the shadows. Oh, sorry, third action.
Yes, so I can't do snagging strike because I have a torch in my hand. So I'll use my action to drop it.
It's a free action to drop.
Ah, okay. Then as my third action, then I'm going to do my second strike.
Okay.
Not entirely sure you're going to be able to snagging strike the incorporeal creature, but
It's
Yeah.
still worth a try.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
just
mean-
like it swirls the wind, like, you know, kind of like makes it like disperse enough.
Yeah, alright. Anyway, we have 15 points of damage. Man, this is really making a difference here. Gris is here we go. Gris is badly injured. Keen. Almost feels like maybe you stand a chance.
God, if the thing can just dip out. How long has it been since we came into this room? Like, when we first stepped in here?
Rounds. Is it important? You need to count something?
I mean, just roughly.
I'd say a d6 rounds.
Okay, so we haven't. Okay, never mind. Grizz said that magical trap was recharging. She's trying to guess if maybe there's a chance it's charged up again or not, but if it's only been if it's literally only been seconds, then she's not even thinking about that.
Yeah, it's been a full minute.
Okay. Then in that case, there's no going back. There's only forward. She can do some potential damage to these things. God, they have resistance. God, that resistance.
They have murder machines. Creating more murder machines with every successful attack.
The resistance is really hard to deal with, especially for her. God. Okay, she's gonna stride up.
Since you rolled really high, I'm gonna give you that additional piece that I hadn't mentioned before. The shadows, those shadow spawns, were created from the shadows of Melchis and John, who ever since have been enfeebled. If you can find a way to cure the enfeebled condition on them, it would make the shadows return to their bodies, destroying the spawn, essentially.
Oh, that's
However,
great.
you cure enfeebled.
If only we had some idea.
Great, and I don't think I can do anything about that.
Yeah.
But you could at least yell it out, because others might be able to.
Sure. She'll say,
Restore your own strength, and the shadow will follow your commands once again. Well, not your commands, but you understand. It will be obedient to you again.
and she's going to try to chill touch the spawn. She's not even sure if the spawn qualify as undead.
It does.
Okay, she's gonna try and chill touch the spawn. Fort save.
Success.
That's my turn.
That means that it just succeeds entirely.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's done. I'm done.
John.
So the main shadow, did it go back underground, or because we don't see it exactly?
Yeah, it's sunk into the floor.
Okay. Well, he is badly hurt. And the others too are kinda hurt. I think he will do another pre-action heal.
Okay. The one in the ground is unaffected by that, but the spawns, one of them fails and the other one fails. So this one takes 11 points of damage and the other one takes 11 points of damage.
And Gris should heal for 11 too.
Mm-hmm. Then it's Melchis' turn.
Okay, I think at this point it would be more prudent for me to actually use my battle medicine feat and run towards John and try to apply some healing on him.
Okay.
That will take my action to actually draw my healing tools. So it is a stride to draw healing tools, and then battle medicine to I will check my the description feat. So you can patch adjacent ally even at combat, attempt a medicine check with same DC as for treat wounds, and restore corresponding amounts of healing points. Yeah, okay. So we'll do that, and I will try not to do anything crazy, so no risky surgery, just DC 15.
Okay.
I will use hero points to reroll that.
What?
No, it is. Oh, sorry, it's 9. 9 healing, not 9.
Yeah.
No, never mind then. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, you run over, break out your tools, and patch up John as quickly as you can, as he is fighting his own shadow, literally, which is kind of single-mindedly trying to bring his former master down. So it is striking at you once. Critically, 22 points of damage. Striking again, hitting for 11 points of damage. And then again, another crit. Can't believe it. 22 points of damage. Brutal.
Actually, John goes down on the second hit.
Oh, okay. Then actually, then it'll use its third action to sink into the ground.
No, John.
John goes down. This valiant warrior
Does his
taken
hair
out by
grow
his
white?
the original shadow pops up from the ground. One action, and then tries to attack Gris. Second action. Is this the right one? No. Oh, wait, sorry. So many shadows. Here we go. Misses, and then with its second action tries to strike you again, hits you for 10 points of damage, but doesn't have an action left to actually steal your shadow, so it can't do that this round.
My shadow is my own.
And then it's your turn.
Okay. Well, I might as well finish the one I was starting with, and I'll drag it with Lortus Chit.
Alright, that's it. Go for damage. 10 points. Just 5 go through.
No, she
She
was striking this
thing
one.
is like hitting air.
Oh, it was this one, okay. Yeah, I'm troubled knowing which whose is which color. Okay, so that's 5 here, and then what was the last one? No, you only have one attack. Where's the next one?
Yeah, I'm going for the second one.
And another hit.
Yes.
And
This axe is amazing.
and you, as you swing your magic axe at the shadow, you just at first it feels like you miss because you barely meet any resistance, but then you realize you kind of dispersed the shadow. It turns into just an exploding dark cloud, and then it kind of just all these individual pieces shoot towards Melchis as the shadow reattaches to him, and you lose the enfeebled condition, Melchis.
Yay. Thank you.
There you go. And with my last action, breathing heavily, I turn my attention towards the other shadow in a weird twist, trying to get an angle on it. And no.
Yeah, a little over exerting yourself here, and you miss it. Keen.
Let's just keep testing those fort saves. You never know. She's gonna step up and try to chill touch the shadow, the main shadow this time.
Let's see. 19. That's a pretty difficult one, but it failed by 4.
Good.
So it is flat-footed.
For one round.
All right.
Her turn.
That's her turn. John. Nope, you move in initiative before the actual shadow that was who took you down, right? No, it was your own shadow that took you down.
Yep.
So that would be this one. So it's Melchis first.
Okay, so I will use again interact to ruffle through my backpack. I will take out one of my elixirs of life and I will administer it to Melchis. I said interact. Where is it? Okay. There's it here. Use elixir of life, and it's actually a good amount of healing, thankfully.
Nice. So John, that was 2 actions, or was that 3 already?
That's 2 actions. Poof, poof, poof. And I think I might
Yes.
I'm thinking. I mean, I don't think I can actually harm the shadow myself, so I think it would be more better for me to. But I don't have actually any actions left. I will just draw my Drake Heart Mutagen, and that would be
Okay.
it. I will drink it next
All right.
next turn.
All right. John.
Well, John comes back to lying on the floor, and I think he will go for the first instinct, which is heal.
All right. And I realized I made a mistake, which I will correct by ruling that as you heal yourself, the shadow returns to your body and you're no longer enfeebled.
No? And that should catch the whatever shadow is above the ground now.
All right. So it has to make its fortitude save. Succeeds, so it takes half damage. Takes 4 points of damage.
And Gris can heal 8 hit points too.
Thank you.
All right, that was John. Still prone, but helping everyone out. The shadow is going to. I mean, it knows that Grizz is the one that is hurting it the most, so it's gonna try to attack Grizz with its first action, hitting for 6 points of damage, and then it's using an action to try to steal your shadow. You feel enfeebled, but it cannot yank your shadow from you just yet. So instead, it'll use its third action to sink into the floor once again. But I'll say that it's basically moving, so it'll trigger an attack of opportunity from you before it can disappear.
Yeah.
But you swing and you miss, and it just sinks into the
Sneaky
floor.
thing.
Then it's your turn.
There's nothing to hit. I will ready an action.
Or it reappearing and then attacking.
And attack.
Okay. Then
And I have one more action, but nothing
right.
really to do.
Okay.
You know.
Ready action. She'll touch.
Okay. Everybody's
And, she'll also she has a third action. So wait, does that work? Yeah.
okay.
Wait, can
Everybody's eyeing the floor like, where is it gonna pop up? Ready.
I'm not sure I've got the rule right there. I just realized that something's weird. Readying actions.
Oh, because the spell is 2 actions.
Yeah.
Yeah. You choose a single action or free action. Yeah, I guess you can't ready a spell. Wow.
Well, there are spells at 1 action, so.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You prepare to use an action that will occur outside of your turn. Choose a single action.
And you cannot use, like, you cannot break activities into individual actions, right? You couldn't do one action.
That's what I was wondering. Is like, can I do the one component and then ready the other component?
Right. I'm right now. I'm gonna give it to you. It just means that even if your trigger never comes, you're still gonna lose the spell at your next initiative.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
a
like
cantrip, so it's fine.
okay, yeah. No, I think that's then I'll give you that, and I'll have to look it up for next time. Not sure if it works that way. I kind of remember that there's no way to start an activity and then end it later, but we'll see. Okay, Melchis.
All right. So first things first, he drinks his Drakeheart mutagen to get that sweet natural armor bonus.
Nice. Okay.
Uh,
And then?
And then I think. Uh, John, how do you feel about taking another elixir of life?
I wouldn't mind.
Then open wide and take this.
There you go. 4 points. John.
John's turn. So he is still prone. He is going to spend one action to retrieve his hammer, and the remaining two to can I? Oh yeah, there's the 5-foot elimination. Click, and he is going to cast Bless,
All right.
and that's his turn.
So some of you are blessed. The shadow creature. It is again. It has like a moderate amount of tactical acumen, so it's gonna pop up here. Action number 1, which
That triggers my.
yep, triggers your ready to action.
Yeah.
That's a hit. Oh, sorry, I rolled the damage for you.
That's alright.
That's 10 damage, of which only 5 go through. And it also will trigger the Eagle Eye by Keen, or the spell by Keen Marrow, the Chill Touch. But since it's a touch spell, I feel like it's probably not gonna be out of reach. Is that right?
Yeah, it's out of reach, and it doesn't look like you by raw can do this anyway. So
Okay. All right, so it pops up there. It immediately is greeted with a swing by Gris, who was just waiting for that to happen, but it nevertheless is trying to strike Gris. Hits you for 6 points of damage, and then steals your shadow with its third action, or at least tries to, making you enfeebled 2 at this point. So you're gonna have to increase your enfeebled value. I just did that for you. No. Yeah. And now your shadow is starting to like loosen. So you see like that part of your shadow is already starting to detach from your body in a way that light usually doesn't work. It doesn't have an action left to sink into the floor, so its Keen was triggered, but didn't actually choose to do the action, so it's Keen's turn.
okay. Did I get a? Have we gotten a sense of what the actual DR of this thing is? Is it DR 10?
Yeah, around 5.
Oh, 5. But it has double resistance on stuff that isn't magic.
Correct. Although anything shedding magical light is treated as a magical weapon when used to attack the shadow. You would know that.
Okay, well, she's got the ever burning torch, so she's gonna give it a shot. She's gonna step up here. She's under the effects of bless, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me put that effect on me really quick. And she's not very good at melee attacks like this, but she will try.
All right, but even if you succeed, like only a crit would even do a little bit of damage. Because the torch is 1d4 bludgeoning plus 1 fire. And an ever-burning torch probably doesn't even have the fire damage, so it would just be 1d4 damage. Which is less than the 5 resistance.
Well, then I get to add my strength modifier.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Forgot about that.
Maybe I'll get through. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make a. Would it be the same as an unarmed strike? I'm trying to. I don't even know what proficiencies how that works. Because she's only been unarmed strikes. I don't know if she's trained with a torch.
I think a regular torch spells out that you can use it as an improvised club. So you take a -2 because improvised.
It just says improvised weapon, so I would say that it's a simple weapon. If you're proficient with simple weapons, you get your
Yeah, she's proficient with simple, so
yeah. So you get your regular, and then it's like attacking with a simple weapon, just taking the -2, I believe, for being improvised.
okay. So I'm just gonna make an unarmed strike here, but I will put the -2 on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real long shot. Yeah, it's a real long shot.
And 15 is a miss.
We'll do it one more time. Maybe it will crit.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Okay.
It isn't. All right, Melchis.
Okay. John is now immune to my battle medicine, but Gris is not, so I will battle medicine her.
Okay. That one, 2 actions.
Well, I believe that will require me to once again draw my healing tools,
Right,
because I will have to like drop them to produce the alchemy ones. So it will be one action to either pick them up or draw them again, and another action to apply them to Gris. Again, it will be DC 15 without risky surgery.
Nice.
Okay.
Very good, made it, and that's, well, 4 points. Better than nothing. All right, one last action.
Thank you very much.
I guess I will have to just draw my sword again.
Okay, John.
John is going to spend one action to enlarge the
Blessed radius.
yeah. How can I have to select it? Which one is the selection tool?
It's that angle thing.
Oh, select target. No.
I can just.
Angle.
There you go.
Okay, thanks. But I still I still would like to move it. But yeah, I'll move it. I'll move to flank the creature. So normally, okay. So that was one act. One act to move. One act to raise the radius of the bliss, and the final act he will try to strike it.
All right.
He is no longer prone. Okay. And miss.
Oh wow, that's
Hero point.
you are clearly shaken to your core, but you help Grizz by providing a flanking partner. Grizz, your turn.
I know exactly what I'm gonna do.
Swing.
And yes, I'm healed. What does flanking do at this time?
You don't have to worry about it. It gets factored in. It's a +2. That's a hit. Roll for damage. But only because of the flanking, I think. That is 8 points of damage, which means 3 of which come through. Sorry, that was not yet dead. But it's very close.
Well, that's alright because I got more hatchets to give.
Miss.
And last one.
You want to use your hero point to reroll that? Because
Yeah, because we really can have them now.
Hero point.
just reroll.
Right click on the roll and it will reroll with hero point.
Wait, where do I click on the roll?
Just in the chat where it says 1d20 plus 5. Right click and select reroll with hero point.
There we go. Reroll and keep the new result.
No, it should say
There's no
reroll.
hero point.
You probably don't have one on your sheet, so yeah, reroll and keep the new result.
Okay.
Ah,
Critical miss. All right, then you have your third attack though. It's a hit.
Yes!
Roll for damage. It's 7 points. Enough to kill it. Come on, because it was just 2 points out. If you bring it down to exactly 0, which is enough, destroy the shadow. You all
My shadow to me.
You breathe a sigh of relief as the shadow starts to slowly dissipate, and as the shadow is destroyed, so does the black ichor slowly start to clear up and just turn into some oozy, watery sort of fluid, but it loses this black tar-like consistency. And I'm gonna have to wrap this up a little quick now. So you turn towards the remaining sarcophagus, curious as to what or who might be burrowed in this unassuming mound that everybody just accepted to be here so close to town. You turn toward the sarcophagus, you see more of those hand symbols with the star in the center, and you notice that not only is the sarcophagus magic and covered in runes at several places, but it also looks like the lid is secured by some sort of magical lock that is clearly opened by something that is placed into a star-shaped indentation at the side of the lid. Nothing you have right now might help you here, but maybe this is also not for these heroes to ever do. So I think we're just gonna drop the curtains here. You have to accept at this point that you cannot open the sarcophagus. You take the basket of mushrooms and go home. Meeting up with Malagoy, is it?
Magiloy.
With Magaloy to give her the mushrooms. Asking around town if anybody knows of a half-orc that recently has wandered off. You learn about a laborer at the lumber mill called Philruck, who had been missing work quite a lot. He was like just kind of a decent guy. Always looking for a way to make a little bit of money, so maybe he had heard about Magaloy's call for mushrooms and wanted to do it himself and had gotten himself in way over his head.
Should not have wandered in there.
You should not, but you made it out of there again, so good job. But again, let's just keep this in mind. Obviously, you return to tell your story alive. You mentioned the strange tomb inside the mound, but that will be for some future band of heroes to find out.
Dun, dun, dun. Does this wrap up the troubles in Otari?
These are probably not the last troubles in Otari, but next time we'll play Abomination.
Okay.
So what about
I'm gonna miss this hatchet.
Yeah, what about Alex? Will he join us?
What's that?
What about Alex? Will he join us in Abomination Walls?
Who will join you?
Your friend,
Yes.
your friend that didn't make it last time.
Oh, Alex. I don't know. He seems to have a pretty tight weekends. I'm not sure if he's gonna. He's definitely not gonna join us for regular